Recording in progress.
Yonder come day, day is a breaking, yonder come day, oh my soul, yonder come day, day is a breaking, sun is arising, in my soul. Slightly longer phrases. Yonder come day, day is a breaking. Yonder come day, day is a breaking. Yonder come day, oh my soul. Yonder come day, oh my soul. Yonder come day, day is a breaking. Yonder come day, day is a breaking. Sun is arising in my soul. Sun is arising in my soul. Yonder come day, day is a breaking. Yonder come day, oh my soul. Yonder come day, day is a breaking. Sun is arising in my soul. Yonder come day, day is a breaking. Yonder come day, oh my soul. Yonder come day, day is a breaking. Sun is arising in my soul. Yonder come day, day is a breaking. Yonder come day, oh my soul. Yonder come day, day is a breaking. Sun is arising in my soul. Yonder come day, day is a breaking. Yonder come day, oh my soul. Yonder come day, day is a breaking. Sun is arising in my soul. Yonder come day, day is a breaking. Yonder come day, oh my soul. Yonder come day, day is a breaking. Sun is arising in my soul.
Good morning. Whether you're here in person, joining us online, or watching later on YouTube, or standing in the hallway waiting to come in on the banner parade, welcome to First Parish in Concord. I'm Reverend Seth Perry-Ladd, your interim senior minister. My pronouns are he, him. If you're online, please feel welcome to participate fully in the chat. If you're here in person and have questions about accessibility or the building, please see our ushers or any worship leader. Masks are optional throughout our building, including in this space, and we continue to use enhanced ventilation and encourage masking to keep our communal spaces safe for everyone. Before we begin, a quick note about the theme for our annual pledge campaign, which is also our theme for this morning, New Beginnings. The campaign logo is a sunrise, and so this morning you should keep a close eye on the resting image, because I understand a sunrise is in the works over the course of the service. Much thanks to Fred Van Dusen and the First Parish Photography Club for this sunrise series shot on Martha's Vineyard. I invite everyone present now to turn and wave to those folks who are joining us online. Hi, friends. However you are joining us this morning, thank you for coming. We're glad you're here. We have our announcements this morning. After the service, we have Worship Sharing Circle, a small group conversation about the service theme in the Brooks Room in person and on Zoom. We also have coffee hour, a less structured way to connect. Just stay on Zoom after the service if you'd like, and in person you can get your coffee in the kitchen and mingle in the parish hall. And that is it for our announcements this morning. Check out your Sunday announcements sheets for more, as there is always a lot going on. And now, on this Celebration Sunday, where we celebrate all that is good and wonderful about our First Parish community as we kick off our annual pledge campaign, let the banner parade begin. Our call to worship this morning is adapted from the words of Marnie Harmony. She wrote, "We whose journeys are always beginning, we whose mission always awaits us, we whose visions are bent on loving, we gather together here. We gather as a community drawn together out of common need, each toting our own carpet bag of treasures and dreams. We gather together seeking meaning, yearning to understand life in all its dimensions, as it challenges and expands, as it burdens, as it consoles and heals. We gather together with questions, the kinds of questions that provoke us to the path of action. We gather with hope, the kind of hope that pulses on through uncertainty. We gather with tenderness, the kind of tenderness that can only be born from knowing human capabilities as well as human imperfections. We gather wanting certainty and having none, but we are wakeful to possibilities as we seek discernment and gentle judgment. We gather then unbounded but close. We gather thirsting. We gather drawn to our source. We gather drawn to love. May Harmony's words guide us now into this sacred time and space. We will now, as many Unitarian Universalist congregations do across our country, light a chalice to mark the beginning of our service. Let us join in saying our chalice lighting responsive words together. O flame of our faith, open our hearts and fill our bodies and souls with persistent strength. Enliven our spirits and encourage us deeply in this life of ours, this sacred, essential moment now. As our wonderful banner carriers move to their seats so that they can take in the service, let us rise in body or spirit and sing our opening hymn, number 1000, Morning Has Come.
Wasn't that amazing? Oh my goodness, so many people who make this place dynamic and rich and bring so much to who we are as a community. Thank you to each banner carrier for being just carrying the banners today, but so much more that you bring into this community's life. Thank you. There is a great book. It's an oldie. It's called The Important Book. It's by Margaret Wise Brown, whom you might know as the Goodnight Moon author, but she's written other books too. And this book lists all kinds of things that are important, and I'm basing my wisdom story on that book today. So the book begins with a spoon. The important thing about a spoon is that you eat with it. It's like a little shovel. You hold it in your hand, you can put it in your mouth, and it isn't flat, it's hollow, and it spoons things up. But the important thing about a spoon is that you eat with it. The important thing about a shoe is that you put your foot in it. You walk in it, and some people roll with it on, and you take it off at night, and it's warm when you take it off. But the important thing about a shoe is that you put your foot in it. So this got me thinking about First Parish and some of the many things that we have around here that are important to us. And one of them, Seth lit this morning with Paul's help. It's our chalice. The important thing about a chalice is that you light it. They're different shapes and colors, and often we say words when we light it. They remind us of love and peace and justice. But the important thing about a chalice is that we light it. The important things about index cards is that you have them in the right order. Or you remember because you wrote it down. The important thing about a covenant is that we live by it. It's true that there are lots of words, but it helps us pledge to make this community more caring and more outward focused. Sometimes we'll make mistakes, but the important thing about a covenant is that we live by it. Not bad, huh? But now I turn to you banner carriers and those of you in the pews who perhaps your favorite part of First Parish was not lifted up today. Call right out into our space. What is the important thing about First Parish? I heard community, I heard friendship, love, faith, people, music, making a difference. Of course, the social action minister heard that one. I hope that as we start this pledge campaign, as we invest in this community, we also share with one another what is most important about this place, because that is how we make it real. The most important thing about this Sunday is that we share it. It's true that there are other things that you could be doing. There's bills to pay, there's homework to study, there are probably laundry to do and other chores that might take us away from this place. But the important thing about this place is that we light our chalice, we sing our music, we join together to make a difference, and we tell our stories and we listen to one another. And together, we grow in beloved community. Amen. Take my spoon with me. Today, our Crossing Paths group is actually visiting with Holy Family, which is right across the way. It used to be a Universalist congregation. We have a long history of having a relationship with them, and we continue to do so today. We have Little RE happening down in the Mill Dam Nursery School space. If you have preschoolers, you can bring them down there. If you have an 8th grader, 8th grade owl has already started, so you better hurry up and go upstairs. And I want to invite our 2 wonderful RE guides to come forward, Liz Kiernan and Sue St. Croix, who's filling in for us today. And Anderson and I are leading our Jubilee kids in the chapel. Please join together in song.
Our reading this morning is Community by Starhawk. She wrote, "We are all longing to go home to some place we have never been, a place half remembered and half envisioned, we can only catch glimpses of from time to time. Community. Somewhere there are people to whom we can speak with passion without having the words catch in our throats. Somewhere a circle of hands will open to receive us, eyes will light up as we enter. Voices will celebrate with us whenever we come into our own power. Community means strength that joins our strength to do the work that needs to be done. Arms to hold us when we falter, a circle of healing, a circle of friends, someplace where we can be free. Seeds, in many ways, are the ultimate new beginnings. An entire plant, sometimes an entire tree, stripped of all its leaves, its flowers, if it has them, its stems, its roots, its branches, all whittled down to one precious seed, from which life, a full plant, a full tree even, can emerge. A seed dropped on fertile soil, fed by the rain and sun, can create new life, a new beginning. And one of the most amazing things about seeds is how much they can overcome and survive. Let me share with you A Prayer for Desert Times by Margaret Kipe. She wrote, "The journeys of our lives are never fully charted. There come sometimes, to each of us, deserts to cross, barren stretches where the green edge on the horizon may be our destination, or an oasis on our way, or a mirage that beckons and will leave us lost. When fear grips the heart or despair bows the head, may we bend as heart and head lead us down to touch the ground beneath our feet and scoop some sand into our hands and receive what the sand would teach us. It holds the warmth of the sun when the sun has left our sight, as it holds the cool of the night when the stars have faded. And hidden among its grains are tiny seeds at rest and waiting, dormant yet undefeated. Desert flowers, they endure, moistened by our tears and by the rain that comes to end even the longest drought. They send down roots and they bloom. Oh, may we believe in those seeds and the seeds within us. May we remember in our dry seasons that we too are desert flowers." My friends, I feel like in many ways we are in a dry season, post-quarantine and yet still pandemic. Perhaps the drought of the quarantine is over. There has definitely been some rain. But for me, at least, it still seems we're in that dry season. There hasn't been enough rain yet to overcome the dried out soil to let life, our lives, fully flourish. Those seeds are still there. Maybe there's even the beginnings of some plant life. But man, the ground still feels parched to me. May we remember in our dry seasons that we too are desert flowers. May we believe in those seeds and the seeds within us. I also want to share with you this morning this excerpt from the book Dwellings by Linda Hogan. She wrote, "In Japan, there were wildflowers that grew in the far, cool region of mountains. The bricks of Hiroshima, down below, were formed of clay from these mountains, and so the walls of the houses and shops held the dormant trumpet flower seeds. But after one group of humans killed another with the explosive power of life's smallest elements split wide apart, the mountain flowers began to grow. Out of the crumbled, burning buildings, they sprouted. Out of destruction and bomb heat and the falling of walls, the seeds opened up and grew. What a horrible beauty, the world going its own way without us. But perhaps this too speaks of survival, of hope beyond our time." Hope beyond our time. That is one of the things that new beginnings often offer us. Hope. The chance, the possibility for something new. First Parish will have a new senior minister come August, one without the interim tag in front of their title. It will be a new beginning in this time of new beginnings. With new beginnings, we hold hope. I put out a call in FP Weekly a couple of weeks ago for you, the members and friends of First Parish, to share what it is you hope for First Parish in this time of new beginnings. Here is some of what you shared. My hope is for people to feel a renewed sense of commitment and belonging. I want us to have a break from self-doubt and concern about the future and just take solace and joy in each other for a little while. I hope next year and beyond will be a time of regrowth and exploration, as well as sharing with the new minister who we are, what we have been, and discovering who we hope to be in the coming years together. I dream for us to gather for soulful fun and dance to music of different traditions. Another person. These have all been separate, right? The I hope I dream starts us on separate ones. My hope for First Parish is that together we create a place where all of us feel free to bring our full selves, both our gifts and our challenges. From our gathered community, we draw strength to go out into the world and make a positive difference. Got two more. I hope for a sense of vibrant shared energy, renewed curiosity about one another and our reasons for being in community. Freedom from fear of speaking up when accompanied by deep listening and mutual respect. A deepening of spiritual exploration, including nonverbal practices. More joy-filled release times. A sense of shared purpose and justice work, balancing particular areas of focus with whole church support and awareness. And finally, I hope that our voice and message as a congregation is heard well beyond our walls, and that new and younger individuals and families are drawn to attend and participate. Thank you for sharing your hopes and dreams. They are beautiful. Tikkun olam is a concept in Judaism that has been defined various ways over the course of time. Tikkun olam literally means repairing the world. My favorite explanation of Tikkun olam that I've heard was shared with me by a friend of mine, a rabbi, as she described the work of religious community. She told me that her understanding was that sparks of the divine were scattered throughout the world, and it was our job, as part of the healing of the world, to go about uncovering them. Sometimes, she said, we stumble on them by accident, and those moments are wonderful. More often, though, she suggested, we need to do work to help uncover them. Sometimes that work is the work of constructing a worship service. Hours upon hours of work by many people go into making this morning happen, and worship services everywhere occur. And then, if we're lucky, some of us at some point feel a sense of connection to God or something larger than ourselves or to each other. Sometimes that work is the work of creating a small group ministry program so that people have an opportunity to connect with one another on a more intimate level and perhaps find that spark of connection in a very different setting. And sometimes that work is the work of social justice and social action, when we go out and try and create good in the world and repair the systems that are causing harm and bring more justice and equity to people in the world. This morning, I invite you to consider helping us build the support structure necessary for us to find that spark of divine connection in two different ways. I mean, do it in all the ways, but two specific ones this morning. First, in the spirit of new beginnings, I'm hoping that we can reform a fellowship committee to help us offer more social events at First Parish. Prior to the quarantine stage of the pandemic, we offered each other many more social opportunities to spend time together than we do now. So if you're interested in serving on the newly reforming fellowship committee, which will be charged with putting on more social events of their choosing, more opportunities to connect and build relationship with one another, please let me know. Find me after the service, email me, any of the ways. We've also included in the announcements in the order of service a hopefully reasonably accurate list of the affinity groups that exist at First Parish. Whether you join the fellowship committee or not, we hope you find places to connect and feed your spirit. And then, of course, you can probably guess the second way that I'm asking you to help build the necessary support structure for us to uncover sparks of the divine, which is by pledging as part of our annual pledge campaign, which begins today. The vast majority of what we do together as a community is funded by your pledges. This worship service, our religious education program that our children and youth are at right now, our social justice work, and more. It's all possible because of the structure of support that we create that is our budget, which comes from your generous giving. Our country is struggling right now for so many reasons. The ongoing impacts of the pandemic, the partisan divide in our politics, and so many challenging things happening in the world. With a new settled minister arriving in August, First Parish is poised to embark on the next chapter of its journey, of your journey together. How we do religious community is changing. What we need from religious community is changing. And the world needs the strong voice of liberal religion as it navigates these difficult times. The annual Pledge Campaign Committee has asked those who are able to consider increasing your pledge by 10% if you can. However much you can give this year, I hope you will give in support of the vitally important work of this community. Whether you call them seeds of hope or sparks of divine connection, they need support, your support, to grow. Please help us create the systems we need to make First Parish a thriving community of love, joy, and justice for you, for each other, for those who have yet to come through our doors. Please give generously. Amen.
Good morning. Each week we gather to worship and to celebrate. As part of our care of this community, we receive the milestones and sacred moments that you share with us, both virtually and here in person, and we hold each other in gentle hands. This week we hold in our thoughts Jim Reynolds, who is resting at home following hip replacement surgery. A full recovery is expected, and he says he is in good hands. We are also grateful today that Liz Weber's temporary replacement to respond to pastoral care needs in the congregation has been hired. Reverend Elizabeth Ide, begins Monday morning, and opportunities to meet and greet her will be offered soon. And now, in this sacred time, I invite you to call aloud the names of those you are holding today in your heart and in your mind, or type them in the chat. Into the silence, these names are spoken aloud and in our hearts. We hold you all of these prayers in our community. We hold you in our thoughts and prayers. And we also hold in our thoughts all those who have yet to find a community of care in which to share their joys and sorrows. May they find peace. May they find love. I invite you now to pray with me. This is a prayer by John O'Donohue called For a New Beginning. In out-of-the-way places of the heart where your thoughts never think to wander, this beginning has been quietly forming, waiting until you were ready to emerge. For a long time, it has watched your desire, feeling the emptiness grow inside you, noticing how you willed yourself on, still unable to leave what you had outgrown. It watched you play with the seduction of safety and the gray promises that sameness whispered, heard the waves of turmoil rise and relent, wondered, would you always live like this? Then the delight when your courage kindled and you stepped into the new ground, your eyes young again with energy and dream, a path of plenitude opening before you. Though your destination is not yet clear, you can trust the promise of this opening. Unfurl yourself into the grace of beginning. This is at one with your life's desire. Awaken your spirit to adventure, hold nothing back. Learn to find ease in risk. Soon you will be home in a new rhythm, for your soul senses the world that awaits you. Amen, and blessed be the silence.
I am the calm in the eye of the storm, come to center. I am the calm in the eye of the storm, take over. I am the calm in the eye of the storm,
I'd like to invite Sahir to come forward.
Hi, my name is Sahil Masjidi. I am from Afghanistan. I come from Afghanistan in 2021. I live in Lowell and I work at Japanese restaurant. I'm senior at Lowell High. Recently, my parents arriving from Afghanistan and we moved together to a new apartment last weekend. This apartment does not have a bags or mice. That's great. I'm really grateful to all of you supporting my family, my cousin Masjidi and Hakimi. I'm here to talk about the bike connector. They give away free bikes, helmets, and locks to everyone who needs them. And they fix the bikes for free. The bike's important for me because I could use to get to work at Market Basket and to high school. I found that riding my bike was the most efficient way to get exercise while going about my everyday routine. My cousins Zubair and Imran also got a bike from Bike Connector. It's not great in the rain, but spring is coming soon, right? New immigrants are arriving in Lowell every day. The Bike Connector helps all immigrants and refugees have a free bikes. So, immigrants and refugees must support the Bike Connector when they got to the point they can. I hope you will give generously to the work of the Bike Connector. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Sahil. And now I'd like to invite Susie Weaver forward to offer our stewardship testimonial.
Good morning.
Well, let's get the box.
Yeah, I know, I need the box. 5'2" doesn't work up here.
Tell him. This is my life.
Okay, good morning. I'm honored to be here today and share with you a little bit about what First Parish means to me. I first stepped into First Parish in October or November of 1991, a few months after moving to Concord. It seems like it was so long ago, yet it seems like just yesterday. I was expecting a baby in just a few weeks, so as you can imagine, I stood out as a newcomer, or at least my belly did. After the service, Jan Lipcon came up to us to ask if we had questions and to show us around. I remember having absolutely no idea what Unitarian Universalist was, but we heard there was a good religious education program and we were looking to meet people. Fast forward, Chloe was born, and we obviously came back. We felt so welcomed at church and met a number of people very quickly, and we stayed. We stayed for when my second child, Cam, was born in 1994. When I brought Cam to church with me, when Cam was just 6 days old, I sat in the back of the sanctuary in case I needed to make a quick getaway. Gary Smith, the minister at the time, spotted me and walked down from the pulpit to give me the rose, which was on the front table in honor of Cam's birth. We felt so held by Gary and by the entire congregation. We stayed for Gary Smith's spiritual autobiography weekend at Senexit House, stayed for my first women's retreat and Ferry Beach experiences sometime around maybe 1996, stayed long enough to have served on and chaired several committees, served on the standing committee, attended and worked on auctions, dinners, plays, concerts, picnics, speakers, worship services, marches, rallies, parades, etc., etc., etc. Almost everything. not the choir yet. My kids stayed too, from the time they were babies, or not even quite yet born babies, through gospel choir, plays with the Becks, neighboring faiths, youth group, coming of age, writing their credos, trips to Transylvania, Ferry Beach, etc., etc., etc. If memory served, they both referenced First Parish and their coming of age experience in their college essays. That's powerful. There were some really good times, good friends, good memories. Those still are there. Made for all of us since the 1990s, over the past 30 years. There were also major life changes, some really good and some really awful, and a need for a lot of support and community. Some of you were truly my guardian angels. Others of you uplifted my kids during the darkest times. In the midst of all the change, including several local moves, there was one thing that was constant, and that was First Parish. During the pledge campaign, we are asked to reflect on what First Parish means to us as we consider our pledge for the coming year. For me, there was times when I was in various states of transition when I couldn't make a financial pledge at the level that I would have liked. And even times when I relied on First Parish for some help, such as a scholarship to the women's retreat. Fortunately, I'm in a better place now, and I can pledge more generously. First Parish needs me, needs us, in order to continue to offer to me and to all of you everything that we come here for. But I also need First Parish, because First Parish is truly my community and my spiritual home. Thank you.
Thank you, Susie. All right, we are now finally about to give this morning's offering. And so we invite you, as we kick off our annual pledge campaign, to submit your pledges, which should be in the pews, pledge cards. Your pledges are not in the pews, the pledge cards are. So if you want to submit your pledge, you can write on the pledge cards and put them in the offering plate if you'd like. You can also drop off your pledge card at the pledge committee table in the parish hall during coffee hour. Whenever you have submitted your pledge, please make sure to get your I pledged button and wear it joyfully. One last note before we begin the offertory. During the offertory, we will celebrate our community with a slideshow on the screens with some photos of recent special moments at First Parish. We will now receive this morning's offering. Please give generously. Friends, there is so much hardship, sometimes in our lives, often in the world right now. Let us take this day together to rest in the goodness, the joy, the beauty, the connection, and the care of this community, and hold that as we think about how we may support it in the coming year, as we embark on this next chapter, as you embark on this next chapter of your journey together. Let us close by rising in body or spirit as we join in singing our closing hymn, number 38, Morning Has Broken. Friends, we're trying something new. We're going to officially extinguish the chalice, and there is a flame here, even though it's a little tiny. So, we extinguish our chalice, even though the flame that we are extinguishing, wow, I bungled that. We'll try that again. Even though we extinguish the flame of our chalice, we cannot extinguish the light, the love, and the hope of our community that flame represents. And now, let us say our benediction together. Go out into the world in peace. Have courage. Hold on to what is good. Return to no person evil for evil. Strengthen the faint-hearted. Support the weak. Help the suffering. Honor all beings. Go and be blessed and be a blessing. Amen.